I'm going to be doing a video on my general camping gear equipment. So let's get started. This is my North Face Terra 45 backpack. It's good for 2-3 days. Holds all this stuff. All this junk in here, it weighs about 26 pounds or so. It only fills it up to about here, so plenty of room for food, extra pair of clothes, whatever for the weekend. Has the single compartment bucket style, but it has a divider in the bottom, and then you can get to, instead of always going through the top, you can get into the side here all the way down to the bottom, or another zipper here on the bottom of the bucket. Has a rain fly that came with it. Has another pouch up here for like your compass. Handy stuff that you always get to. Another front one here. And of course your two elastic ones on the side. And then your loops on the bottom. And a really thick padded waist strap there. But I'll start with the sleep system stuff. So over here I have just a regular GI Army wool blanket in Hawaii. This is really all I need in Hawaii. Yep, and then this is my hammock, my Eagle Nest Outfitter single hammock, and then on the each end I modified it so I have 1-inch webbing on each side. One side has 6 feet, the other side has 7 feet, and that way I can really pick my trees, whichever one I want, and plenty of space. I like hammocks over sleeping on the ground, and it's just more comfortable for me. This is a regular Army woodland camouflage poncho, but it has rivets in each corner so that I can tie it up and make a lean-to type shelter, use it kind of like a tarp. This is a reflective emergency blanket tarp. It has the rivets in each corner, and on 2 of the corners I have the elastic band so I don't rip out the corners, but it reflects, so if I need to make a quick shelter and I didn't want to put up the NOAA 12 tarp, it's just really handy. It's 7x5, and if I have a fire in front, it reflects the radiant heat back on me, so really handy. Most of the time I just use it as like a ground cloth, so if it's wet or dew in the morning, I can just sit down on that and not get wet. But of course I have the I think it's Kelty Kelty NOAA 12 tarp, and it's not exactly square, it's kind of concave on the edges, but each corner has the rivets, and then the ridge line, whenever I set it up for my hammock, the ridge line is 17 feet, and then the 2 corners on the ground. I usually have one down to help block the wind, and then the other one I have up with a fire underneath it, and that way I can see everything and have the fire underneath if it starts raining or whatever. A really nice tarp, light. And then over here, usually a lot of time I'll just use this to cook with portable fuel. I like the 8-ounce ones. I don't mind the extra weight and have room anyway. Of course, just a regular cook stove. Water. This is a metal container, and I think it's 27 ounces, and then I have a nesting cup. This is titanium and this is stainless steel, so I can boil water with either one of these, and that way I always have like a mug or something, coffee, tea, cocoa, whatever, or just boil water in. This, I really like this. Really don't use it on the fire. I have another one that I'll throw in the fire a lot. This is my MSR Seagull 1.1 liter pot, really handy. This is what I cook my meals in, and if I am just trying to go light, taking the dehydrated meals, I just take another cook set I'll show you here in a minute, just to boil water and throw it in here. But this one's big enough. A whole liter I can put in rice, beans, whatever kind of meat I brought, jerky or whatever. and just make a nice little homemade meal. And I have the light my fire spoon fork thing. They make that in metal too, I think, but this is one of the plastic ones. This is my Hiker water filter. It has the Hiker Pro water filter in here, so it gets out extra virus. Filter's a smaller micron than what the usual Hiker has. It has the Hiker Pro filter in here. But I like that rather than boiling and using the pills. It's the water purification tablets. And boiling, I just like to do this better. I think it pumps like a liter a minute. So, and then over here is just a bunch of tools and junk I take. My Noah 12, I have probably 6 steaks in there, which is plenty. But I have an extra 2 I usually take along. I just do whatever with. And then this is a Tard bank line. This is a 106 pound test. I like this better than a paracord. And it comes in 1 pound rolls. And so this probably has most, I'd use a bit of it. This is most of the 1 pound. I have that around my sheath. Usually I'll just have I don't always take this with me. A lot of time I'll just have, like 200 feet or whatever on my EDC coiled up. And then it's there, but I also have some on my knife sheath. Also a magnetized needle, so I can use that as a compass or some heavy duty repairs. But this is my BK2. Heavy, weighs like a pound, but it's really nice. I like it. I also take my BK11, which is in my truck right now, which is what I use mostly around the camp, but I always take the BK2 with me. And then have a hatchet. This has seen a lot of use. Probably had this 6-7 years now. Yeah, at least 7. My Leatherman Wave. And this for quite a few years, about 9 years, and still pretty, still nice. Of course, for all the cutting tools, I have just the diamond rod sharpener that I'll take with me. Weighs nothing. I can just really quick if I need to hone something. But I have other sharpening stones. But this I'll just take camping with me. My EDC. These 2 containers just have fire starting material in it. And then I have another flashlight, whistle, a hot glue gun stick. Good for making stuff or repairing. And then this is a ferrocerium rod. It's a Strike Force by UST, and then it has the wet fire tinder in there also. And there's the rod with the scraper on it. Of course, I have a carabiner, but I also have a couple more that I may or may not take with me. But this is a Tactica. It has 3 different settings, and then it has the strobe, and then it also has the bright flash one. And then it has the lens. Different lens colors, and then on the side it has battery level and also adjust. This is really nice. Headlamp is always great. That way I'm not using a flashlight. I only have one hand. This way I have it on my head and I have both hands free. A couple chem lights, light sticks, glow sticks, whatever you want to call them. That way you can just light tents up or latrine or something like that in the middle of the night if people didn't bring a flashlight. Another ferrocerium rod. This is normally what I just scrape. Makes a lot of sparks for my stove. Have a lighter, but I just didn't have one in my backpack. My Silva Ranger compass is a model 515. Has the mileage scales for maps on both sides. Adjustable bezel ring, glows in the dark. You can either use the handhold method or you can sight with it. And a little magnifying glass, nice. Also has the declination ring on the bottom, so I could factor that in. Military protractor, don't ever use that, but it's always in there. Cravat handkerchief, so many uses. Usually just have it around my neck trying to cool me off, but also use it for pretty much everything. And of course with the Tactica, Usually have a mini mag light in my bag, but this is just a tactical light. Really bright, blinds everybody, shoots a beam long ways away. This is generally what I take camping, especially for hot in Hawaii, generally Florida too. But also over here, this is my other mesh kit. It's titanium, so it's probably lighter than that stainless steel one. But this one I'll throw on the fire or whatever. Just alternate. Of course, this is an Nalgene bottle and another nesting cup. This nesting cup is about maybe 18 ounces to the top, but it has measurements up to 16 ounces. Usually take that with me too. Instead of the hatchet, I can always take the tomahawk. Pros and cons of tomahawks. A lot of pros though. And then for cutting logs, instead I can take this little pocket chainsaw with me and then split the wood with either the hatchet or the BK2. This way you can get nice chunks of logs and then just split it with the hatchet. Gloves, really need gloves, especially around a fire or working with tools. Gloves are really important. Then if I want to just throw this in because it's getting chilly or it's supposed to rain a lot, this is a bivy sack that is made out of the emergency space blanket type thing, so it reflects your body heat. Because it's a bivy sack, it's like a sleeping bag. So if you take this and throw the wool blanket inside, you can go down pretty far. I've slept in with these two to like 50 degrees and it was okay. But if you need be, you can go a lot further down than that. And then if it's cold, instead of sleeping in this hammock in Colorado, I would take, of course, the sleeping mat and my military sleep system. This isn't compressed, but if it was compressed, it'd be about this long. Or you can just do it in a hot dog log and just tighten up these, and that way it's wide enough that you can strap it to the bottom of the backpack. And then normally I just take out the reservoir and put this in my Terra 45. But if I was going to hike in to like a base camp with a backpack, I'd just strap this empty to the outside. Then I can keep the pack and all my camping stuff at a base camp and then just hike around with lunch and 3 liters of water during the day and then come back. And then empty it out, strap it to the outside and pack everything back out with the Camelback. Duct tape, keep it in my truck, but comes in handy camping sometimes too. This is generally what I take, some alternatives for colder environments or some different tools. But I hope this gives you guys some ideas. And if you have questions, let me know about some of the individual things or first aid or food type items. And I'll see you later.